Hey, folks, welcome back to the Rugby Ascendant segment of Chris Wyatt Africa and the Rugby Ascendant channel. And my special guest today is Martini. I got Martini wrong. Martini Talapusi, who is a player for Rugby ATL there in Atlanta. Hey, Martini, how's it going today? How you guys doing, friend?
Good. Day off for the boys. Do a bit of recovery and then get back in it tomorrow for the big weekend.
Well, a big weekend. What's going on this weekend? Did I miss something?
Oh, nothing big, just the MLR championship.
That's right. Folks, if you don't know,
Rugby
ATL in their second season, in the first season, they had an opportunity to go to championship because the last season was cut after 5 weeks. After 5 games, I should say. This season, Rugby ATL in their first full season has won the Eastern Conference Championship, a game that I was at last week, as was Martini. We're both there present for this game. We're going to talk about that. But they've moved on to the MLR, Major League Rugby Championship game being played at the Coliseum in Los Angeles against the LA Giltinis, a team that Rugby ATL defeated at Lupo Field.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So here we go. So let's talk a little bit about this, Martini. This game last week, boy, I'll tell you what, early in the season, one of the early games, Matt Heaton was there. And I asked Coach Lawrence and Matt, I said, what are you, the cardiac kids? I mean, what's the deal here? You guys keep the audience engaged to the 80th minute in every game. We don't know if you're going to win or not till the 80th minute. Now that got a little bit better as the season went on. There were a few games you had big leads and won, but most of the games like right down to the end. And so Matt Heaton said, yeah, no, my grandmother, she said the same thing. She's like, she can't get up and go to the loo because she'll miss, the game will end. So, but here we had the same thing. This game, ATL comes out, takes a 3-0 lead. And then they held it for about up till 34 minutes. Then Rugby United, Harry Bennett gets a conversion, ties it up. Then he gets another conversion before half, and it's 6-3. And then they come out in the second half. They take in about the 50th minute and take a 9-3 lead. And things are looking a little dicey at that point. Probably a smart decision on the part of Rooney to take that kick, because at that point, despite phase after phase after phase after phase, it's sounding redundant. It looked redundant on the field. ATL couldn't get across the try line. And we were starting to wonder what was happening. So you were there on the bench in the game, and what was your perspective watching this? Did you have any concerns about whether they're ever going to get a try or what?
I think, on my head, I think eventually I knew we were going to get there. I mean, if you're knocking on the door for that long, you've got to cross that line eventually. And I think the boys pulled it down in the end. We had a lot of grit going into those last couple of phases for that try. I think all our fault, big ups our forward back. They put in a big shift for that game and got us the win.
Well, it was really something else. And then I think everybody had bated breath because you needed a conversion to win the game. And we were in the 78th minute or something like that. Kurt Coleman's out there on the pitch. The good news is it was, he's a heck of a kicker. And the even better news, it was like almost right in front of the post, but still everyone was like holding their breath in the background, waiting to see what happened. I imagine you probably weren't holding your breath. You probably feared Kurt's got this one.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, with those kicks, it's always the easy ones that'll get you. It's always the easy ones that you expect to make that you don't make. But obviously with Kurt being the kicker that he is, I think at least where I was standing, everyone was pretty confident he was going to make it.
Now it was something else. But this was once again, Rugby ATL known for its stout defense. And that's what we saw. We saw, and I don't know, maybe you have a better perspective, maybe talk to the boys. But from what I saw on the sideline, it looked as if Johan Mumsen somehow was on his back and the ball rests on his chest. But when Dylan Fawcett went across the butcher late in the game and Rugby United New York didn't get a try because it was held up, was that in fact resting on Johan Mumsen's chest? We couldn't see. Who held that ball up? Do you have any idea?
I actually couldn't see. I was probably a little bit away from it, but I mean, I couldn't even see it until I saw the ref make the signal that it was held up. So.
Yeah, same here. I was tough, but I watched the video replay, and it almost looked like that Johan Mumsen came in and then fell back like this with his head on the try line, and it looked like the ball was on his chest. I'm not sure, but it was whoever held that ball up, that saved the game
If it's anyone, I would pick Mumsen.
Yeah, well,
if it's anyone that would be doing, it would be Johan Mumsen. So.
Well, it'd be a fair bet, either Mumsen or Jason Dom, but Dom was out. He was injured, so he wasn't there. But yeah, that was something else. So tell me what the mood was like after the game. It seemed pretty jubilant there in the field. You guys had to be pretty excited about winning the conference championship.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when it comes to a game that close and a team that we haven't actually beaten since we've come into this competition, I think it was a big win for us. And winning that way was also big. And No, I think after the game, we took the win, we celebrated. But then I think on Monday, we just kind of had to level ourselves again and just stay within our routine and not just get caught up in all the hype and all the fun and then, lose control of what we can control. So it's good. Came back into work yesterday, just controlled ourselves, got stuck into our routine, and it's just another game. Except it's a big one.
I was going to say with Coach Scott Lawrence, it probably wouldn't be allowed to be anything else. He's not going to let you.
Oh no,
because I mean, let's be honest. There's another mission now. The mission is this weekend, Sunday, Los Angeles, the Giltinis, and you got to take home the shield and win that thing. So this is whether ATL wins or not. It's been a heck of a season. A little bit of a rough start, in part, I think, because we had this odd situation with the pandemic and people, I mean, let's be honest, look around the league. I mean, guys weren't as fit as they should have been at the start of the season across the league, but as the season wore on, guys got fit. And I'm not just talking about ATL, I'm talking about the whole league. We saw this. And then also for ATL, you have like 18,000 South Africans. And a lot of them couldn't get in the country. So it took a while before they showed up.
Yep. Yeah. I think that was beginning of the season. We were still trying to find our feet, I guess, get into the rhythm of things. We got players coming in week 1 and some players coming in week 3. It was kind of hard. And we try to get that chemistry going. And I guess we eventually we did. And then we started getting on a roll, got our routine set from week in, week out. And from there on, it just took off for us.
Well, let's focus on Sunday now because it's been a fantastic season. But win or lose, it's been a successful season across the board. You came in first in the standings at the regular season. You win the conference championship, and this is the first year that there's been conference championships because the playoff format was different in the past. So, congratulations on a great season, Martini. Now the championship game. Wow, against LA in Los Angeles. You guys aren't shy about going on the road and going to the West Coast. You went out to Seattle and performed pretty well out there and did a great job. You went to Utah and did pretty amazing. So LA, any concerns about this star-studded Matt Giddo? Although I hear he might be out. Adam Ashley Cooper, DTH Van der Merwe. You guys got any concerns or worries about this weekend?
I mean, there's always going to be concerns and worries, but I think the thing that we can control is how we play, how we come out in defense, how we come out, and how we execute our attack and things like that. I mean, obviously, they got some big names. They've got people with experience in these type of situations, in these types of big games. So, I mean, there's not a lot we can do about them, but work on what we can control, and that's the way we defend and how we attack. So I think our focus is just us. I think it's just doing the right things and playing the way we play.
Well, I should say the other thing, and this clearly, I didn't get a chance to ask this in a press conference because it was pandemonium after the game the other night. But a question I really wanted to ask Coach Lawrence, and I'm going to mention it if we after we get through the season here, is that throughout the season, this is from my perspective, watching the games. One thing that's been a sticking point, a sore point, has been, or especially early in the season, is the lineouts. A lot of trouble with lineouts, but boy, in that championship game, ATL had those lineouts down. They were just on the money. Nothing thrown, not straight, nothing turned over. You guys did a fantastic job. The lineouts were amazing. And I think that one of the key spots that the ATL reason they won this game is that they controlled their lineouts. And then now we didn't get as great a success that you normally get on the rolling maul after getting them all going, because usually that's just death on opponents. But Rooney is pretty good at defending against your mauls, but the lineouts were brilliant. It really allowed ATL to keep possession.
Yeah, I think our lineouts, our set piece is always a big part of our game. And I think if we can nail those details down on those set pieces, it gives us a big advantage going forward. And obviously our fullback, they work on those day in and day out. So it's obviously something that we continue to work on and we continue to improve. Well,
Martini, the season will be over after Sunday. No matter what, this season's over in Major League Rugby. So you've got an off season coming up for the guys selected for the Eagles and for Canada that are playing. They'll be headed out for Canada and USA playing each other. And then also the Eagles have the All Blacks coming to DC and then Ireland coming to Vegas. So that's a lot to look forward to for the guys that are playing for the Eagles. But what's your off season look like? Have you got plans? Will you be working? Are you going to be working on fitness, going to school? What's your off season look like?
Obviously, I'll be here. I'll be doing mostly my rehab, getting my knee right come next season, and then obviously do a bit of coaching. helping a little bit with the pathway for development down here with us and academy side, I would say. And then, no, yeah, I'll be working, doing a little bit of work on the side, and then, but for most part, I just want to get my body right. Take a couple weeks off, take a month off, I guess, at least after the season's done, and then get back to it.
Well, at the risk of stepping out on a limb, I'm going to step out on a limb, and I'm going to predict 23-17 Rugby ATL wins the championship.
23-17. Hey, I'll take that. I mean, it's going to be a close game. LA's obviously they're going to come out firing. Obviously, given the last results of the last time we played them, so they'll have a bit of grudge on us, and obviously we're there to win it. So, you know, it'll be a good game. I think if anyone that doesn't often watch rugby and wants to get into it, this is probably the game to watch.
Absolutely. This is definitely the one to watch. And it's available for folks that can watch it. I'm not sure whether it's on broadcast or on the Rugby Network, but between the two of them, it's definitely out there for people to watch it. And here we are. This is probably, I would argue, the most exciting season end for Major League Rugby in its 4 years of existence. And hopefully this will really get a lot more people realizing that we got professional rugby here in the States, and the quality of the game has gotten better and better each season. This season was especially impressive. The quality of the officiating was far superior this season in the past. And I think Major League Rugby is on the right track. So best of luck in the off season and in rehab, and see you come back looking strong next year. And fingers crossed. I'm not, I'm usually unbiased. You know, like I was at the game. I don't know if you saw this at the game, but in the warm-ups, I put on a Rooney jersey. And
oh, you did?
Yeah, one of the senior execs from Rugby United said, "You're dead to me. You're dead to me." From Rugby ATL said, "You're dead to me," because I was wearing a Rooney shirt. But then I switched and put on an ATL shirt for the rest of the warm-ups. And then, of course, I tried to be neutral during the game, so I wore a Springboks jersey so that I wasn't. but I will be unashamed, unabashed. I am all in for Rugby ATL. That's who I'm pulling for this weekend. Yeah, and we want Rugby ATL to win this thing and bring that silverware home to Marietta, Georgia. Good luck in the off season, and good luck this weekend, Martini. We're pulling for you guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks
a lot.